Welcome. You are now listening to Click Click Play. Please enjoy.
Fight!
Hello and welcome to Click Click Play episode 59. I'm your host with the most beautiful colleagues. I've scoured Twitch and YouTube and Cardiff to find. And the most beautiful of them all isn't here today, but we've made do with his brother, Andre, the giant YouTube star. How are you doing?
Hey, how you doing? I just put food in my mouth. Yay!
Yay! I was thinking, who should I introduce first? And I'll go for the one that can't speak.
Perfect. You're a really great host, man.
I know.
I even love all the half energy you give at the beginning of each show. It's like, it sounds like you're about. Yeah, it sounds like you're about to yell.
Wait, we've got somebody joining us?
Gaben
Who's Gabe?
of Valve fame.
Oh my god, it's Gabe himself, who's really fucked up my layout on the screen. How are you doing? Is that Manny Repete?
Did you guys start the podcast already?
Yeah, that doesn't look like church.
Because my girlfriend's getting ready.
Uh-oh.
Show us.
Okay.
Never change, Jordan, never change.
In the shower. Give me a second.
Oh,
Definitely show.
I'm getting banned from Twitch right now. Okay. So wait, so yeah, we were just saying, and we've lost Andre. Great, we've swapped Andre for.
I've always said they're the same person.
Yeah, there's a reason why. Oh, we've lost it.
So Mandy, are you just here to defend Sea of Thieves? Are you just making sure that we
so
don't?
when are you guys
don't
talking about
totally
Sea of
bash it?
Thieves so I can...
Probably in about 10 minutes.
Alright, cool. Do you want me to come back in 10 minutes?
All right, great. See you then.
Just message me on WhatsApp.
Will do.
So I
Oh.
can come.
Mellum, how are you doing? Oh, yeah, you're very quiet, Mellum. So quiet, we can't hear you.
I'll speak for him. Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, we can't see you. So we can't hear Mellum, we can't see.
Yeah,
This
I'll
is
speak-
going
I'll speak
so
for
well.
us too. Yeah, Norway sucks.
No, we can't hear you. Did you?
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now, yeah.
Nah, we can hear you. Okay.
Okay.
And now can you guys see? This is a clusterfuck of a beginning of an episode, right?
Yeah, this is
really
this isn't as
strong.
bad as the other day when I didn't even
Brothers, you're always destroying this podcast now.
I literally think we should stop and restart. And Ben, put a little bit more
No.
energy in your intro.
that was a good intro. That was.
It sounds like you're yelling, like you're trying to secretly yell. You're like, "Hey, everybody,
Well,
how's it going out there?
that's
Everybody,
me.
can you hear me in the back? Hey, guys."
I'm just not naturally allowed like Americans.
You're not. You need
I like
to be more
to-
American.
I'm considerate of my neighbours. Mellum, how are you doing?
that.
Now we can hear you.
Yeah. No, I was just saying I'm really tired today because I was out for the first time in 3 months or something.
Like you're out partying, or you're just out your house for the first time? 3 months.
Oh yeah. No partying.
That's life of a streamer. Never leave.
Yeah. I was home 8 this morning and I can't remember much. So I think it was a good evening.
Yeah, 8. Like clubs in Norway open till 8, or did you get a bit
No.
of no?
It was some after party stuff.
Ooh. Did Mellum Lady know about this?
I hope so. She was there.
Oh. Ooh. Tell me more. Jordan, how was your weekend? And how 2 weeks it's been? What have you been up to these 2 weeks?
Yeah. How did last week's show go?
It didn't go,
Apparently
Jordan.
we can't do the podcast without it.
No. Do you know the main reason is I couldn't be bothered to find news articles, and I know you were too drunk or stoned in Amsterdam to to put them together. So I was like, this podcast lasts about 20 minutes, so probably not.
I was fairly sober when you requested. Well, that's probably not true, but I was, I was competent enough to put together a list of news articles. But I thought, fuck you, I'm not doing it. I'm on holiday. You fucking do it. You run the show.
What do I pay you for?
Yeah, exactly. But no, I'm good. Amsterdam was good. I nearly got stuck there. The UK decided to have like 10 minutes of snow during the short window that I was due to travel back to Bristol. So I nearly got stuck in Amsterdam until Tuesday, which before I went to Amsterdam would have sounded delightful. But at that point, it's Sunday in the airport. I wanted nothing more than to get back to the UK. So we kind of protested, and they chucked us on a flight to Heathrow. So we managed to get to London, and then I made Laura come and get me. So managed to get home.
You were there
You'd be glad
without
to
your
know.
girlfriend, fiance. Sorry, you were there without your fiance.
Absolutely, yeah.
We there for the
He,
football.
he was with his other wife, as they say.
Yeah.
Yeah, my 40 minutes wife.
€40 wife. So what have you been up to, Andre the Giant? Showing a bit of leg. Are they silver shorts you're wearing?
Yeah,
like
I'm wearing
silk.
silver shorts. They're very
Oh, wow.
they're satin shorts.
Jesus.
I like to,
Are you
I like to
wrestling
feel
later or
comfy.
something?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm doing.
He is just the guy from Catherine, isn't he, Andre?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty much him. That's his life, I think.
How have you been?
I went to a anti-guns protest, which was nice for a bit.
Yeah.
I didn't really march or anything like that because I don't give a fuck. But
you
a
went
friend
to
of
it?
mine wanted to do that, so I went with that.
Was she hot?
That's none of your fucking business, but whatever.
Okay, I mean, I love Andre's like morals disappear every time he meets someone hot.
But yeah, what's it called? I went to that. We had a snowstorm recently, a couple of snowstorms. That was kind of shitty. I had to work through that. But I'm back. I'm back, and I have more energy than ever.
Hey, we had
Yeah.
snow
Oh,
as well
so
in the
come
last
the
2
coffee.
weeks.
Oh, and I saw the movie. I'm not sure if you guys heard of it, Death of Stalin.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Oh yeah, I thought it was really
Heard of
funny. That shit made me laugh so much, and I know
Really
so
good.
little about history, and that shit.
Banned in Russia last week, I think.
Yeah.
Really? Nah,
Oh,
that
it
makes
was?
sense.
Mm,
That makes
So
sense.
it's a good one then.
Man,
it's very
they,
good, yeah.
They have Stalin rolling around in his own piss when he's like sick. It's kind of funny.
Oh.
Yeah, I can see why they would ban it.
Just shows you how little Russia has changed, that they can't actually deal with like satire
Yeah.
based on Stalin, for fuck's sake. You would have thought they would have
Yeah.
moved on from that, but clearly not based on recent activity.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, because like anytime I try to make a 9/11 comedy, like everyone just gets up in arms.
Sure.
Yeah.
Up in arms.
Okay, moving on. Moving on.
Wow. So yeah, oh great. We didn't delve into a movie discussion.
Stalin
for
was
once.
Russia's 9/11, I think, was the message. It's kind of true. Kind of
Yeah, it kind of is.
Killed a few more people, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Andre, the games
fewer
you've been
people.
playing.
Stalin killed a lot of people. As the movie shows me, he killed like several people an hour. They're like, yeah, those people need to die. Oh yeah, I don't like that guy. Kill him. The end.
The death of one is a tragedy. We all know that.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on.
Yeah, the games intro. The link you sent me didn't have anything on it, Andre. It said it
Jesus, what
was
a
just
God damn it! You couldn't tell me that.
yeah. Well, that's the reason why before I couldn't access it, because for some reason it's gone from your Google Drive. But don't worry, we've got Jordan. Jordan's
Jordan, you know
But-
what to do.
yep.
God.
Unleash the Jordan.
It's all about the game, and now you play it. All about control, and if you can take it, it's all about your dad, and if you can pay it, all about the game, and I'm gonna play it.
What
Games.
games you playing, you bastards? You. So I guess we've all been
Amazing.
playing the same game. Right, Nino Kuni 2. Let's talk about that ending. Oof.
Mm.
I think should we just say like 20 seconds about Nino? Well, like Nino Kuni 2 without mentioning a single thing about the story.
I think we can talk about a game without talking about the story.
Yeah.
Like I'd like to talk about the beginning. Melum, do you know the kind of setup on it? Like the literally
No,
the first cutscene?
There's some print stuff. That's what I know.
Yeah. Without
That's it,
saying any...
you can talk about it. It's the first hour you can spoil for me.
If you don't know about it, then maybe I'll leave it because it's
Yeah.
quite cool.
I like
and
how it surprised me
you can
so
see on
much
my-
how different
You
it
can't
was.
see it right now, but I've literally just watched like a 90-minute video which took me through the story of the first one. And
Oh, yeah.
I guess if I had played the first one, I wouldn't be as shocked as I was with the setup of the second. It's still very different, but it's the whole. So with the first one, you've got the whole kind of trans-dimensional thing, and an event in the real world kind of ends up pushing somebody into this alternate fantasy world, and it doesn't seem to be clear on whether. I think this alternate fantasy world is supposed to be like a mental thing that they've created, I guess, help support them through difficult times. And that's what I got from it anyway, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
the second one just has a similar thing, but a totally different tone and a totally
I
different
loved it.
setup. I thought it was fucking awesome. I was not expecting that at all.
I was
'Cause
streaming
didn't-
if
I thought these games were completely just set in this fantasy world. I didn't realize there was anything kind of interbridging with the real world. And just the first 5 minutes, I was like, what the fuck?
I'm surprised you
It's
didn't play
crazy.
the first one. It's a really good game.
Yeah, I've got it on my PS3, but I just never got around to it. And and from playing the second one, and I guess we'll talk about it in a sec, but there seems to be a lot of quality of life improvements. I'm really enjoying it. So I doubt that I'll ever go back and play the first one, but I definitely won't now because I just spoiled it all for myself via
First one's
YouTube.
got no relation as well to the second one. Just like it's taken some of their mechanics and things like that. Like maybe gameplay wise, there are some similarities, but I mean there are quite a lot of similarities. Not loads, but there are like enough to make it obviously
definitely
a sequel,
not direct sequel. It's clearly referenced in the first one. I'm not sure how far you are into number 2.
No, I'm only like 2 hours in. I just got to a place where I was taken by some people.
Yeah, there's definitely some allusions to it. It's as if the first game has kind of become a legend within the second game.
Okay, cool.
That makes sense.
Is
it the same gameplay like with the familiars and stuff?
Ooh, it's 10 times better. You have Pikmin style dudes that follow you around, and every now and again they will congregate together. And if you press, I was playing this with the controller, so if you press A on them, this is just the ones that I've got so far. They generate a weapon. Like in mine, they generated this giant cannon and then started attacking them. It's really cool. It's so much better than the familiars in the first one.
Also, can they use range as auto attack now?
I don't know if you can use auto attack, Jordan, or can they do it?
So I just control my character and everybody else auto attacks.
They fight alongside you. You're not swapping them around.
I
like
haven't
you were
played
in
the first one, so I'm not really sure what the difference is really.
Okay, so I just remember you could only have auto attacks with melee in the first one, and I really wanted some range.
Oh no, this is like you feel like you're in there, you're playing it, and you're actually fighting in the battles. My favorite quality of life difference is that just how fast you can go into a quick like random battle and finish it. I think the whole game.
I tend to get quite frustrated with JRPGs, especially cutesy ones like this. They tend to take way too long to do anything, whether it's a battle or even story stuff. So it tends to be that typical Japanese thing of somebody will say something and the other person will repeat it, and then the next person says what. Whereas the dialogue is all like there'll be a really important cutscene and it's done in like 60 seconds. It's really to the point script. I'm really appreciating that, and that's kind of what's keeping me in it. I think the game looks fucking gorgeous. It's one of the best looking games I've ever played, and obviously, it's very stylized. It's kind of got that cell shading stuff going on. It looks like an anime, which always tends to lend itself well to video games. Wind Waker still looks incredible, but this is just a step above, like playing it on PC and seeing it at really high resolution, running at a really good frame rate. It just looks absolutely superb. And then I think the combat's really cool as well. It's pretty simplistic. There's nothing really challenging about it that I've seen yet. It's one of those games where if you're on or around the level of the creature or the creatures that you're fighting, you're going to do fine. And you only control one character, so the other ones are kind of doing quite a good job of fighting the battle for you anyway. But it's not too simplistic, and it's a really enjoyable action RPG in terms of the combat, I think.
In the first one, the action actually changed throughout the whole game. So I don't know if it's going to be the same with this one.
Yeah, I think they do later on. I was reading a review, and there's something like it turns into a kind of an RTS controlling armies and stuff.
Yeah, so it's less the changes into that. It's more that's just a side thing. So I'm guessing that wasn't in the first one.
No.
So it's got this whole other mechanic. So part of this game is empire building. So you're supposed not empire building, but kingdom building. You're supposed to build a kingdom essentially.
Oh,
And part of that is completing big, large scale battles. Again, it's quite simplistic, but it goes to an overhead view. You get to kind of control squadrons of foot soldiers who have swords, or they might have bows or spears, and they'll be weak against different types of units.
cool.
So that's a whole different dimension to it, which I'm really
I haven't
appreciating
got to
as
that
well.
part yet. Forward to it.
So where I've just saved the game is where you basically just first set up this kingdom, and my next action is to sit on the throne, and then I'm guessing it's going to start asking me to make decisions about that kingdom and how we want to run it, and I love that shit in games. So yeah,
Did you ever play Little King
definitely
Story?
Management is always fun in games, so that's cool.
Have you played Little King Story?
no.
That's I've read that this game takes a lot from there. Which I've got it on. I think was it Vita or was it 3? It might have been Vita. Yeah.
3 initially, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a
Have you
literal
guys-
description of this game.
Is Oliver or Drippy in this at all?
No.
You've got equivalents. You've got a new main character who's he's not from the real world. He's from the fantasy world, but he's still a young boy.
I like how you can choose who you play with. Like you can play with him, or you can play as the guy from our world. So you can actually.
Well, I
switch.
totally thought that would be the main character because he
Yeah, me
looks
too.
like he would be, and he's characterized as he would be. And I do play as him, so whenever I can control a character, I play as the guy. Should we just say like who the guy is? not
Yeah,
bad.
no problem.
You see it in the
Comes
first few
cutscene,
seconds. Yeah.
Like this is such a cool fucking. This just got me hooked straight away. So it starts off basically. What would the bridge be like? The Brooklyn Bridge or
Yeah, it's
something
the
going
Brooklyn
into
Bridge.
Manhattan.
Yeah.
So you've got a president motorcade going along the Brooklyn Bridge into Manhattan. And a fucking nuclear bomb takes out Manhattan.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Fuck! I was like, this is if I'm playing fucking Call of Duty.
Yeah, if you want to watch my reaction on,
European.
if you look on the Twitch past broadcast when I was streaming, because I streamed the beginning of the game, I was like, "What the hell was this? This isn't. Am I playing the right game here?" It just went insane.
I didn't look into this much, and like was that
I had
known
no idea.
before
No,
the game came out? Or was that?
Well, I had
I've
no
never
idea.
heard of it.
I've been avoiding the
I
story though.
didn't look too much into this game. I didn't play the first one, so I wasn't like overly excited for this. But I knew the first one was supposed to be good, so I was kind of contemplating buying it. But yeah, to see that happen in the first few minutes really blew my mind. And so then that president, who's a really cool guy,
It's got a ponytail though.
he has got a ponytail. He gets nuked, and suddenly then he's in fucking Ding Dong
Dell.
Walla Walla World or wherever it is.
Ding Dong Dell.
Ding Dong Dong.
Apart from like the
Oh, it's a Ding Dong Bell?
Dell. Ding Dong Dell.
Yeah.
Is that the original?
Ah, so it's the same city then.
Oh, I didn't know that. I forgot. The thing. Oh
Oh,
yeah,
no,
actually, I
no,
wonder where I
that's-
remember it, where I recognize it from. The only like apart from that opening bit was just like whoa. Apart from that, when you go into the other world, so far like the 2 hours that I've played, the story, like the negative thing I would say about the story just feels very very obvious. Like you know exactly everything that happens. You're like, yep, okay, yeah, that's. You just expect everything. There's nothing new or unusual. Like the place where I am at the moment in the desert, I think. I said before I was captured. Like I was expecting that. I just knew that would happen, and I knew. You play. I don't know. I haven't played that many of these type of games, but you can just kind of expect what the next part of the story is going to be. There's nothing.
It kind of
super
sets itself
unusual.
up as a bit of a fairy tale, doesn't it? It's got
Yeah.
the whole. It literally says "happy ever after" and things like that all the time. So it is fairly kind of a similar formula in terms of that stuff. But then I'm quite a bit further than that, and there's typical JRPG weirdness happening now in terms of like.
I
You're
like
basically
that.
just going from town to town, and there's a fucking issue in a town, and you need to sort that issue out. And the issues so far have been pretty unique.
Okay, I'm looking forward to
That's
that.
cool.
good.
Same with
That
the
was
PS.
the problem with the first one. What the story was just telling you all over and all over that you have to be a nice person. That was like the main thing.
You don't
You
want
have to be
to
kind, and that was just for 40 hours.
Yeah, this doesn't really seem like that.
You're a king.
It is very positive. It's quite weird, Ben. Like it sounds like you've just got to that bit. The people that capture you, they straight up like just say, right, we're going to kill you now.
Yeah.
we're just going to shoot you in the face because you're
Yeah, that was a bit
trespassing.
brutal.
And it's a weird juxtaposition with the way that game is presented. It just looks like it really looks like a kid's game, like a kid's story, and then suddenly they just come up against these people who are like, yeah, you shouldn't be here. We're just going to fucking shoot you in the head now. I nearly
Yeah, I like it.
Wolfenstein Inokuni.
Other thing, like there's a lot of readable cutscenes there. Like the text, most of the text that I've come across has been just read, like in the original, rather than. I mean, you do still have spoken cutscenes, but quite a lot of it's just read stuff, which I don't know. It's okay, but I'd have liked to have a bit more people speaking. And like, yeah, you can ones that you can skip. I was expecting a little bit more from that, but they're like my only two gripes of that, and maybe the predictable. But it sounds like the predictable storyline's going to change.
Does this game, from a production budgetary perspective, does this game feel like a step down from the first one or a step up?
Ooh, it seems like that game on PS4.
Yeah,
It doesn't.
because I was worried they were just kind of knocking another one out on the name just when they could, you know.
Oh no,
That was my worry for this game. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like they've really put a lot of thought into it, and it's a worthy sequel. But I haven't played the first one, so it's hard for me to necessarily say that.
Yeah.
Haven't they
that's the feeling I
postponed
get.
this game for like over a year?
I'm not sure. I didn't really follow it.
I think that's the case, and
Okay. It seems really polished.
yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
It's a great game. It does feel really polished, especially the battle. Like that's the main thing that I think that annoyed most people was the having to grind and also leveling up, and the battle's just taking a while in the original. Whereas this is so fast. You like there isn't you gain XP as you're defeating enemies in the like the battle scene. So you're actually there's no end scene where you're like, oh, here's how much XP you've got, and this XP, and this person's leveled up, and they've learned this move, and this, that, and the other. There's none of that, so it's just straight in and out. I don't mind random encounters. In fact, I've been looking for them just to practice.
Yeah, they last. Sometimes they last like 10 seconds. You're just in and out because you've got two kind of team members who are on autopilot anyway, and like you're quite powerful. Those battles can be really quick, especially if you're kind of either the same level or higher level than the other teams.
And in the desert scene, when I was, because you're in an area with loads. When you're in an area with loads of those battles happening, it doesn't even change to a general screen, which are like,
Yeah.
it just goes straight. You're in. Okay, you see a guy, then you start attacking them. It creates like a battle area, so you can't go out of it.
Yeah.
But when you're in the
Like,
overworld, you go into like your own little area.
Well, I guess you've kind of got two mode. You've got kind of general explorer mode where you're actually in a location and you're kind of walking around that, or you've got the world map mode where you're kind of a chibi style of yourself, and then you can approach other random battles if you want to engage them. Which is pretty typical for JRPG. But what I would say is, compared to like Final Fantasy 15, this is a way better battle system. It might not look as fancy, but this is way more engaging, way more interactive, and probably more challenging as well, even though this isn't all that challenging. I thought FF15 combat, I think you've said it a few times, you come out of that game not really knowing what you were supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And I think you're probably assuming that you're not understanding it, but actually there's probably no depth there. It was pretty much just hammering the same button again and again, whereas this has actually got, you've got your melee weapon, you've got your long range weapon,
Have you got
whatever
to the
those
point?
fucking
Yeah.
things are doing around you, you can activate them. And
Have you got to the point
whatever
where you
else.
actually needed to activate them? Because they seem a bit just OP. Like I've been managing to kill them with my.
I only realized, so I've just done quite a big boss battle.
Yeah.
I only realized doing that you could, because it was one of the mechanics within the battle that you needed to do it. And then I
Okay.
noticed that they were kind of grouping together and you could activate them. Some of them give you health, one of them creates a cannon. I don't really understand what those things are and what you're supposed to do with them over time. There's a whole kind of progression to them which I haven't looked into yet. Have you unlocked the thing that the tactics tuner, I think it's called?
No, I'm really just I've got been caught by those dudes, and that's it.
You get it as part of that story that you're going to do
Okay.
it now, so you'll get that soon. And it's just a really simplistic menu that you can pump points into, and it lets you just kind of configure the way you want your progression to head. So I assumed it was going to let me tell my AI team members, kind of tell them how to behave in battle. It doesn't do that, but what it can do is, for instance, you can pump points into one of the sections and it'll decide what your rewards are coming out of battle. So you can preference to have XP or gold or rare items, things like that. And you can change that as much as you want. You can configure it like between battles if you want to, which is really cool. So like I've
cool.
put loads of points in initially just to gain XP, because realistically, like,
yeah, that's what you want.
the
That's
thing that's gauging
always
your progression
the
in
way
this
to
game
go
is,
in JRPGs.
there's been so many, like, and what I appreciate about this game is that there's a fucking full-on world map, which I haven't really seen since like FF9 or something. with optional or seemingly optional places within it. So I'll just be heading towards my major goal, and I'll just see another actual location on like a cave or a ruin or something on the world map that I can go into. And typically it'll be filled with like monsters twice my level, which you can try to fight, but you're not really doing any damage. So my thought is the quicker I XP up, the sooner I can get into things like that.
Yeah. I'm going to be playing this a lot next week, I think, well, because I'm off work now for a week. I can play that a lot while Mellum's working.
It'll be a nice game to bounce off Far Cry 5. It's it's one of those things where it's a totally different genre, totally different tone.
Yeah.
So I think the two should probably work alongside each other quite nicely, even though they're both meaty games. But yeah, I love it.
Is there a lot of animation in and out of combat?
No.
Yeah, I haven't come across any.
Because in the first game it was a hassle to grind because there was so much animation.
Yeah.
Super quick.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Actually,
Awesome.
you go in. Sometimes you're not even. There's no animation to go into the combat. It's just automatically the people there you fight, and you fight it like a third person would.
Yeah.
And then when you finish, you're gaining XP during the battle. So at the end, it just stops. Yeah, it doesn't even like. There's no animation whatsoever.
What's that noise?
Oh, that's my mouse who's squealing
The
for
rat
somebody.
that's dying.
Yeah, because the Amazon's here with our groceries. All right, let's let Andre speak a bit. Go on, Andre. What have you played?
I played Doom, and I finally beat it. That game is 2 hours too long, and I really enjoyed it, though. I feel like that game could have... Yeah.
How long is it?
3 hours.
It took me like 10 hours. I don't know why. And I wasn't even like looking... I was just trying to speed through it near the end. It took me like 8 hours.
That sounds about right. I think that's
Yeah,
pretty much an average playthrough, I think.
I played it
That's the
on
thing,
and
like,
off all the time.
That game was so tight that I really wish... Like, I love mindless shooters, and that was like a mindless shooter, but if you like dig deep into it, it has like a really interesting story. But I didn't give a fuck, so I just like ran through that shit.
That's
And
good.
I had a blast. It was so much fun. It was so what were you saying?
I like with Doom that you can choose whether to care about the story or not, because there's all you pick up loads of intel and you can read into it if you want, but if you don't, if you just want to go through and have mindless action, you can do
I
it.
fucking missed all that story. Like I finished that game when it came out, and then started like really enjoyed it, like really like Doom. And then started looking into the kind of what people were saying about it, and a lot of people were talking about this fucking story, and I don't know where that story is. I'm guessing in terminals or something, but I did not fucking see it.
That's the thing. It's all in like data entries that you have to read and like.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, exactly. And like it's funny because like if you ignore the story, you're basically playing the role of the Doom guy because the Doom guy doesn't give a fuck. He's just like they're like, hey, you need to slowly take this thing out. He just fucking rips it up. Yeah,
Brilliant.
He's such a fucking cool character. Yeah.
How long to beat has Doom listed for an average playthrough at 11 hours 44 minutes? So I reckon it's probably a little bit longer than 8.
Yeah, like that's the thing. It was just like a tad bit too long, and I got bored. And like, don't get me wrong, the gameplay is fucking fun. All the weapons feel awesome, and it's like just running around, jumping, like never having to reload. Like, you never realize how important it is that your character just can continuously shoot until you play Doom, and you're like, fuck, man. Like taking like 2 seconds to reload is a hassle in any other game. But yeah, that it was fucking dope. And then I played Super Hot. I beat Super Hot for the first time because that's free on Xbox Games with Gold. And that was good. That was like a perfect amount of time. That took me like 2 hours to beat. I was like, oh, yeah, it didn't overstay its welcome. Like, I'm excited for a sequel for that. They can expand upon that mechanic and make it so fucking great. Like, I can't imagine like broadening that game out and like adding weapons to it and doing crazy shit to it and getting rid of the weird hacker storyline that they have in this one. But yeah, I enjoyed that too.
I want to play that in VR. I hear it's really good in VR.
Wait, what?
I hear it's really good in VR.
I'm sorry. I was talking to your dog.
Oh.
Dog, what happened?
He's like, let me fucking get in. Like, nope, he's not getting in. Right. But the things with Doom,
I hear it's fucking awesome in VR.
When you talk about Doom and like it being too long, I really like Doom in like 2-level moments. I play 2 levels because each level's about an hour long. So I play like 2 levels and then a few days later go play another 2 levels, and that worked perfectly for me.
Yeah, I needed to like beat it as fast as I could because I wanted to return it.
It was all right. Did you play it on Xbox?
Well, no, it's like if you buy a game from GameStop, you have like a week to return it. So like what I do is like if a game's short enough, like I'll beat it and just fucking return it right
So
away.
that's why it was too long.
How do they manage that? Like in there's loads of games you could finish in a week. So how do they stop people from abusing?
They don't. I mean, they give you a store credit, so then you're just
Okay.
like circling back store credit over and over again.
They're just desperate for people to walk in the doors, aren't they?
Yeah. God.
I really like Doom though. It's so fast. I love
Yeah.
games that are that fast. Like Titanfall was the same, just a first-person shooter that's really you can whiz through it.
See, but the thing is, Titanfall is one of the best first-person shooters ever made. I feel like we had to bring that up along with Life is
Yeah.
Strange, which is
Oh my
still a
god.
great game.
Life is Strange. Oh, whoa! We were like nearly half an hour in then.
33.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
I think with Doom, Doom and Titanfall came out around about the same time as well. It was the same year, and I remember just
Yeah.
thinking that
Fucking
when people
goat
talk
year
about
for first-person shooters.
good first-person shooters, most people went for Doom, but no, Titanfall 2.
They made a mistake because
Yeah.
there's never been a better first-person. Jordan, you have to go back and play that game.
I will.
Fucking great. It's such an incredible. It reminds me so much of Doom. Like I like Titanfall more than I like Doom, but
Me too.
like
Yeah.
yeah, like Titanfall is just it's so fast and it feels so good. Every game should play like Titanfall. And like when I played Advanced Warfighter, it fucking sucked because like the mobility was so slow. And Titanfall is like so like fluid and beautiful to like jump off wall to wall to wall to climb to
The thing that both of
kick
them
a dude in the face.
have in common that's
If
really
you
good
played
is
Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, then you're gonna appreciate Titanfall so much.
Yeah.
Strange to think that we had these two like really acclaimed fast first-person shooters in Titanfall and Doom. Everybody loved those, and then the two market leaders went back to World War II or World War One
Yeah.
and Two, like totally slowed it all down. Because
Mm.
I thought coming out of Doom and also the kind of impact Titanfall had that first-person shooters were about to go up a gear with people trying to compete with those, but that didn't really happen, did it?
what I liked about Titanfall 2 and Doom is that they're both like every level you have a totally new mechanic. Like in Doom it was a different weapon. Like the weapons when you got new ones they were just awesome, especially some later game ones. Whereas Titanfall, I mean everything changed in each level, each mission.
But like the thing you said, Jordan, with like those two games getting beat out, you have to remember what they got beat out by. It's like Call of Duty could go back to the Stone Age and they'd still outsell everything, which kind of sucks because it's not based on how good the game is. Because I'd argue that it went. What's the newest one? Infinite Warfare.
Well,
It's
World
like-
War II. is the-
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And World War II is the last one now, right?
Oh,
That's
no,
what I
but-
mean. Like we had these really, really fast-paced games, and then the two. So you got so then Battlefield and Call of Duty said, "Fuck this, we're going back to fucking
Yeah.
the World War One and Two." So and
But yeah,
it looks like they're staying there for a while.
That's the thing. Like I was never sick of the futuristic warfare. I mean, I was just sick of Call of Duty's formula to futuristic warfare. I feel like it was so boring.
It felt
And, like,
sluggish.
Like Titanfall 3, I mean, it's gonna be made by EA, so it's probably gonna be
Just
dog
released
shit.
just released by EA. I think they're still Respawn are still making it.
Are they making Titanfall 3?
I mean, they have. I mean, didn't Titanfall 2 do really well? No, it didn't.
Oh
right?
no, it did really badly.
God,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, because I thought that died.
Yeah, this is why Trump gets in fucking vote. Oh God. Like people don't like good games. That's what it is. Like
why people
will buy
shoot
a
up
Call of Duty no
schools.
matter what, if it's shitty or not. So do I. I play every fucking Call of Duty, and like I'm part of that problem.
I've
I'm
never
like-
played a Call of Duty game. I just want to put that out there.
Good
Fuck
for,
you.
good for you, man. Try one.
It's one of
They're-
those.
they're-
I've never watched Game of
half-decent.
Thrones.
There hasn't been a good one since Black Ops.
Yeah, I actually
Oh,
like
Black
Ops
Ops.
too.
Are
Black
you?
Ops 2 is dope.
Do you hear Black Ops 4? Are you looking forward to that, Millum?
Yeah.
No, because it's still Call of Duty.
But like, even they had the
I'm gonna
chance with
try it.
with Infinite Warfare. I played that and I played the multiplayer, but like the wall running was so sluggish. It felt like I was just like I was still going at the pace of walking, and like wall running at a really slow pace doesn't feel good at all.
Yeah, it's like they realized they needed to put that in at the last minute, and they're like, all right, just make it so you can just run on the wall, and they did it.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't, and like the levels aren't built around wall running, which is so shitty.
There's like certain
they-
parts of a level like you can wall run
like
along this
tiny,
part. That's it.
obvious parts. Like what was cool about Titanfall, it's like there's like a billboard in like the middle of nowhere. You're like, oh, that's perfect to wall run, and I can jump off that and get like there was nothing like that in Call of Duty. Like it's Call of Duty isn't a vertical shooter. It's like it's on a flat plane most of the time, which kind of sucks. It's boring.
All right. Did you play Catherine.
I love
Florence.
Catherine. I think
Florence, sorry.
What?
Florence, the other lady's name.
Yeah, I did. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I played Florence. I love that game. I think that game was really cute. 30 minutes. I heard Jordan saying he didn't like it because it was happy or something. He was like, I don't like positivity. I want a nuclear bomb to explode in New York and kill millions of people. My intro of a game.
The dude
But
does look.
Florence was not a happy game.
I know. Yeah.
Wasn't the end.
Florence was a sad game at one point, but like it has like a positive message in the end, which I was like, oh, that's a very like nice message. I played a game similar to that was free. It's called The End of the World. It's called.
Nice.
I was happy.
Yeah, and it's about some guy who like very similar thing meets a girl and then they end up breaking up. But like the way they visually tell the story is really interesting. Like literally the world starts ending around them, and he just like is kind of just walking through. It's like a literal walking simulator.
I like
He's
these.
just like-
It's more of an experience than a game, was Florence. I liked it. I liked how
Yeah.
it's like I don't read comics, I don't watch TV, I don't watch movies or anything like that. I get bored really easily. But this is this is my type of story to be told. And I loved it where as you were getting to know, like you had to put your speech together when you started speaking to them, and then it was obviously quite difficult because then there were lots of pieces to the speech puzzle that you had to put together. But then as you got to as they were speaking to each other, it got like there were fewer and fewer pieces, and it got a lot easier. I just like little things. Like, oh yeah, I noticed that. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's because obviously they're finding it easier to talk to each other. And
Somebody
cute little
explaining that
things.
mechanic to me is literally the reason that I went and played that game. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I really don't need fucking mobile games telling me that breaking up with girls is difficult. I know that. Like, fucking 30, yeah, I
Jordan,
understand that.
you break hearts every other day.
Yeah.
They call me the heartbreak kid, but when that's a really cool mechanic. I thought that's a really kind of simple but thoughtful way to do it. And yeah, Ben, you're right. It's what does
few
a video
things like
game
that.
mean these days? But realistically, you could argue that this is a comic over a video game. I think.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
no
100%.
reason why Marvel couldn't do something similar to this in terms of making their graphic novels more interactive instead of it just being a PDF version of their paper print. I think that's probably where it will go in the future. It's
God,
that kind of thing. It's less of a video game.
I love the art
That's-
as well in it.
I guess I never thought of that. Like, comic books can go into that medium and just be like, all right, we're gonna be an interactive comic book. Have you guys ever played Device 6? I think it was called.
Oh shit, that rings a bell. That's a mobile game, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a
Is
big.
it drop? No, not drop 6.
No, it was. I think it was Device 6 or Device something. But it was like it was almost like reading a book, but like the way you read the book was like I have no. I need to look it up because everyone was recommending it to me. It never came out on iOS. I mean on Android.
Did you have to like flip the phone around and stuff? It's all
Yeah,
perspective based.
It was all
yeah.
perspective based and stuff. And like you flip the thing around and you can read it upside down and like you like scroll down. It had like a bunch of like interactivity with how you read it. So
Yeah,
I need to look into that.
I think
Yeah,
Melon-
Florence was fine, but there's a lot of games similar to it that do a half decent job. I don't think it's worth $3. Maybe 99 cents. That would have been a perfect amount of money, which is kind of weird that you're complaining about spending $3 on like art. I guess.
Yeah,
What
I
is
think it's just
art?
like that.
Fuck
It's a
it.
bit of art. Our video games art. Oh.
Let's talk about that.
Next week's gonna be interesting. We've got so many. We'll have loads of games to talk about next week because I think Melum and I either tonight or this. I think maybe this week we're gonna be playing A Way Out as well as like Far Cry. I've got A Way Out. I don't know if I'm gonna regret it, but I bought it.
Ugh, I want to fucking play that game so bad. I don't care what the reviews are saying. Like I hear the ending's really good, and I'm a sucker for a good ending.
I hear that
Like,
it's a
like
bit.
this.
I think it's gonna be fun, like doing some parts with the mates, and that's
Yeah.
it. It's a bad game.
Yeah,
all over.
I hear the story's a bit like you don't feel much for the characters, but we'll see what that's like.
I'm really good at getting emotionally invested in shitty characters, a la Life is Strange.
Yeah.
So
Have you played the
like-
bonus episode yet?
no, God, you can't buy that separately.
No. Oh.
No, what a fucking dumb thing they're doing with that. I would give them my money to play it right now, but
I've got it. Don't worry, I'll stream it and let you know so you can watch
no,
it.
because you make bad decisions, man. You're bad at making decisions in that.
In general, yeah. All right, should we move on to the news? Oh, wait a minute. What do we have?
The big game.
No,
just
but
to-
there's actually one game before that.
Yeah.
There's loads of really good, but
know, I'm just
just
winding you
on
up.
a way out, like that game was so hyped, and I think it's another. There's starting to be a bit of a pattern now. Games that are debuted on the Video Game Awards and get like a lot of hype and a lot of fucking eyes on them at one time and then come out and disappoint. I think we probably need to be more vigilant with that in the future because it happened to No Man's Sky, it happened to this, it's probably happened to others as well.
I am kind of
maybe-
glad that it might not be that good because the guy seems like an absolute dick.
You seem like an absolute dick. He's passionate.
He's
I
French.
think
People
he
ask-
talks the game.
Twitch channel.
I have seen
If
most
this,
of
if
his
this game came
movies.
out and he was a 10 out of 10 and he did what he did, I'd be like, fuck yeah, he's talking the talk, but he's walking the walk. The fact that he talked
Yeah.
the way that he did and then he releases 7 out of 10 games, like, I don't
What
know.
do you say, Mellon?
Fuck you.
But he makes like Swedish movies. He made Swedish movies, and
Yeah.
he's always
Is that
been like
porn?
Yeah, I
a
started
genius
watching one. It was,
when it comes to dark humor,
Yeah.
and it's always been like good movies. And
Maybe
yes.
we'll enjoy it. But he's French,
So-
isn't he? Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm really surprised that he didn't like wrote this better. It's so weird because he's always been really good with it.
We'll see. Maybe we'll see a different side to the game that these reviewers just don't get.
yeah, exactly. Maybe you two playing it together. I want to play with my brother like really bad. I think we like really, because we're brothers and those guys are they brothers in that game?
I think
No, right?
I think
There's
so.
another game
Well,
called Brothers if you want to do
Or
it.
the meet
I am
yeah, you
literally-
should actually play Brothers.
I am literally playing brothers right now.
Oh, all right. Glad we've got your attention.
Brother.
That's the same guy, isn't it? Or the same? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So okay, should we
I
move
played
on?
that with CQ.
Yeah. What game did you say, Melanie, you wanted to talk about before we move on to that big one?
Splinter Cell. I played the first one this week. No, last week, but we missed this podcast.
Yeah.
I played like through 60% or something of it. I haven't finished it yet, but oh my god, that's a great game, and it made me remember like back in the days, especially on console, games were really polished.
Yeah.
They're not like that anymore. Like every game now is just early access. People just pre-order everything, and but back in the day, there was some really good games.
It
What are you
haunted me
playing
watching
now?
you.
That's an old game at this point. Like that's a PS2 game. What are you
You
playing
get
now?
it on Steam, and it plays perfectly with the mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, it looked good actually.
Oh.
The noise when you get spotted though, that like just brought back horrible memories of when I played the game. Just getting really angry.
yeah.
I think I got a guide that just told me how to get around certain guards and stuff because I was just getting so frustrated. Did I tell
By the
you?
way,
the
I
best
just what?
What's the best Splinter Cell game?
Chaos Theory.
For me, it's the first one. Many says number 2.
I say Blacklist.
Yeah, but
shut
you're wrong.
up, Ben, you're fucking bad at everything, man.
Blacklist is actually
You're
really
bad- you're
really
bad
well
at video games,
reviewed.
man. Yeah, good for it. Fucking Chaos Theory had like 10s across the board on every fucking thing. Chaos Theory was a perfect game for the original Xbox. It was. I'm surprised it's not backwards compatible yet. I'm waiting for that.
Joystick gave it 5 stars. What happened to Joystick?
They're still around.
Are they?
It's
Hey, we
action
should spend
games.
the next 20
They
minutes.
they weren't sneak games.
Oh no, they're Engadget now. Or Engadget.
Your Engadget.
No, I remember Joystick. They went out of business like 5 years ago. All right.
Oh yeah, but Chaos Theory was fucking great. Like I remember those those graphics still hold up, and it's incredible because most fucking games of that era do not.
So, Malum, you were saying about you enjoyed Splinter Cell because most modern games are now kind of not polished and early access and stuff like that. Should we move on to Sea of Thieves?
Yeah. Speaking of early access game, no.
That was not why I
Segue.
said that.
All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room, Spelunky 2. It's
I
a
want to know
great
Andre
game.
thinks. I haven't heard Andre say anything about this game. I kind of
Oh,
know where Ben is.
I was saving myself for this podcast because I wanted
Yeah.
to.
Mm,
I haven't seen
myself.
what you guys have written like the last hour on the WhatsApp group, so feel free to repeat it.
Yeah. So okay. So I turn on the game, right? I wake up in the pub. I make my guy. I pick a cool looking guy, and
right,
I
you didn't
pick,
pick a
you
guy,
pick.
picked
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I picked my guy. I picked him. But like, I picked the cool one. My guy looks exactly how I would have made my guy eventually.
Sure, of course he
But
did.
what's it going? So I step outside. I got like the small one man ship, and I just hop in the boat. First off, a lot of lag. I thought I was playing by myself, but I'm getting a shit ton of lag.
Yeah,
I'm like,
same.
okay, well, let's just try to stumble onto the boat. I get onto my boat. I start fucking around with everything. I eventually learn how to sail. So I start sailing. And first off, let me say I have never sailed in daylight. Like the entire time I've played this, I've been in like overcast weather and pouring rain. I have never seen the sun in this game yet. And I've been playing for a fucking while, which is insane. Like I'm like, because I see like videos you guys send me of you like guys sailing into sunsets. But like I get onto my boat and it's overcast and dark, and I'm like start sailing away. I'm like, okay, this is fine. This is fine. And then all of a sudden my compass just starts going ape shit. It just starts spinning in circles. And I'm like, I have and I let go of the wheel. I go downstairs. I look at my map and like, where am I headed? And my boat starts like turning like weirdly because I'm away from the fucking steering wheel. And like, I notice that I'm like heading towards rocks. So I run up to the top. I try to turn really fast. I hit these rocks and I like keep going. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And then I look downstairs. I'm taking on water and I'm like by myself. This is like the first time I've ever played the game. And like I couldn't find land because my compass was going insane. Like I was in the middle of a storm, and then it starts raining, and like it starts raining, and I'm freaking the fuck out because it's dark and like my boat's sinking, and I don't know how to. I didn't know you can't just carry plane. I mean,
And you deleted the game
on
and
me.
said, "Fuck this."
So I'm just like trying to plank up the entire like the bottom half of my boat. I'm pouring water out, but it's raining really hard, and like the water looks incredible. It's like shooting over like my boat, and like say what you want about that game, but the water physics in that game are unmatched. I've never seen water like that. I can stare at like just a stormy sea for hours because I think it looks beautiful, and the way your boat reacts to like to the waves is so realistic. It's like jumping up
And the great
crashing
thing,
down.
the great thing about that, it's made
I
with
like how it
Unreal.
feels like you have walls around you when you're in the sea.
It's like it's made by Unreal Engine, and apparently people are going to be able to copy that in future games, which is going to be
Good
really
because every
interesting.
game should have like water that looks like that.
Yeah.
And then like eventually like I get out of the fucking sea, like I get out of like the storm, and now it's just an overcast day, and I'm just like sailing smoothly to like an island. I stand on like I set course. I'm like going straight towards an island. I let go of the steering wheel. I climb up on the mast. I'm not on the mast, on that front part of the boat. I start playing my accordion, and it just feels really cool. Just like to look at the water, and then I lag forward and I fall into the water, leaving my boat sailing ahead, and I'm stuck in the water. I turn off the game. Yeah, I turn off the game because I'm mad, and then I got like my first mission. And then like when I turn the game back on, I'm back on an island. I get missions. I don't know how to do the missions. They's like, oh, get something for this old man, and I'm like, what the fuck? Which old man are you talking about? There's no thing on my map. I have no idea what I'm doing. I get to an island. I find a treasure chest. I fight some. I do poorly. Probably some of the worst combat I've ever faced. Like with some skeletons that like when I press R, it takes me 2 seconds to hit, which coming from Doom is the most ridiculous fucking thing in the world. Where like I feel like Doom kills people before I can click the goddamn button. This game, like it just it's so unpolished. I'm really upset. I guess I just need to play with people.
Yeah.
Because I've only met up with one person who went onto a cannon and just like blew the fuck out of my boat. And I'm like, oh, this is not fun for me. Yeah, I feel like with a crew.
I'm surprised you have anything positive to say after playing that alone.
Oh, I that's the thing. Like I felt like a really funny pirate as I'm like I felt like a really shitty pirate, and it was funny to me. I'm like as I'm like trying to patch up holes and like dig out water. I'm like trying to turn my boat. It was like hectic, and like I like stuff like that. But like again, like I like stuff with like a through line. I feel like there's no through line in that game. Like you know what I mean? Like Destiny, I can tell you when I beat Destiny. Destiny's beat for me. I'm done. I don't have to play Destiny until an expansion comes out. And like this game, like this game isn't for me. It's for streamers. This game is made to be streamed, and I can appreciate that. I don't like that. I don't like games that are like that. I don't like any. That's why I don't like PUBG as much as like everyone else because like I don't. I mean, I like PUBG Mobile. We should talk about PUBG Mobile, which is a fucking incredible game. Holy shit! I sit down for 30 minutes with my phone just playing PUBG, and like it runs better than it does on Xbox, which is insane to me. Insane to me that it's not fixed on Xbox yet. But whatever. Yeah, I mean, I like the game. I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Melum and I have played pretty much.
Love-hate thing.
Mel and I have done pretty much everything on that game. We've played a bit of solo, we've done duo, we've done squads, like full squads with people. We've done the raid. we've met the Kraken. We've done all sorts of bounties, and I think we've done pretty much everything that it's got to offer.
How many hours, Ben?
Ooh, maybe 10, 15.
Jesus
Okay.
Christ.
But I mean, no, we've done everything once, but like doing it again is obviously different because you're going to different islands, different raids, different things appear.
Wait, can I ask how you get quests? I still don't know what to do. I have 3 voyages
You're
I have to
gonna be
do.
one of those who hate it because it's no tutorial.
And if only
No,
there was a
like,
tutorial, hand holding.
No, that's not it. Like I like learning stuff like that, but like literally I have these 3 things on my I have 3 voyages I have to do and I can't even select them. I
So
don't know what
that stuff isn't the problem. Like, if you just look at a guide, that stuff is fairly straightforward. It's not
Yeah.
that much of an issue as soon as you know what to do. And I only know because when I played the beta, I saw what other people were doing.
Mhm.
So that I don't think that stuff is necessarily an issue. But what is an issue with this game? The combat. I think not enough people are talking about how bad that fucking combat is, and I don't think that's something that they can just fix with an update. There's a detachment from the world. There's a weirdness, especially on Xbox, to the way that you feel kind of grounded in that world. There's always a little bit of lag. It feels like you never really interact with anything. You can't seem to kind of, when you're on land at least, you can't seem to interact with the environment. The the content, like a lot of people are talking about the lack of content in that game. Like, I get it. It's for like they clearly set this up so that groups of like 3 or 4 people can play it. It's way better
Sandbox.
in co-op, and certainly with streaming as well. But the streaming argument, I would argue that none of you are going to be playing this game in a month. Nobody is going to be streaming this game unless they've got some serious fucking updates to release in the next couple of weeks. Nobody's going to be playing this, I would argue. What do you think from like a streamer perspective? Do you honestly think that this is going to stay like even in the top 10 streamed games in a month's time?
No, I don't think it's doing very well on Twitch right now.
Already?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like this game
The game is fucked.
Yeah, exactly. This game is so weird.
That's the only thing it's got going for it.
8th at the moment.
And what I would say as well, like this is all, it's such a weird position in piece with Microsoft, and obviously they're kind of, you could use, there's almost an analogy of like a ship kind of changing direction with Microsoft at the moment, and like releasing the Game Pass thing. So when this game was conceived, obviously I'm assuming Game Pass wasn't a thing, and for them to introduce this as the first one was a big deal because everyone's looking forward to this game. It's a new Rare game, and then you've got this weird position where, I could go into my Xbox and pay £50 for this game, or go to Amazon and pay £50 for this game, or I can pay £7 and play this game plus hundreds of other games. Yeah. So that's a weird positioning, but I get it because it's the first time. But then you look at State of Decay, which is their next kind of exclusive game. They've already knocked the price down of that to 25 quid, and that's going to be on the streaming service as well. I think even it might have been a bit messy with pre-orders and stuff like that. I think that they should have knocked this price down to about 25 quid before release, just to kind of set expectations with it. And I think even then,
Yeah.
They're justifying it with because it's cross-platform. You
Yeah.
can have it on both at the same time, but
sure.
Who's going to
I
play it
don't
on
think-
Xbox? Yeah, I mean, I still like the game. I'm still enjoying it, just from. But it's.
We need to be critical because that's
Oh
what we're
yeah,
doing. So
of course. No, I think we've been very critical of it, and It's one of those games that just provides you a sandbox. It provides you with the elements to have fun, and
There's
you've
no
got
fucking sandbox there.
That's
There's
what. That's what's bothering me, because like it's not like there's anything to interact with on these islands. Like you go on these islands, there's only like 2 enemy. How many enemy types are in this game? There's like metal skeletons and regular skeletons, and that's it.
there's 5 different skeletons and there's bosses.
Oh really? Oh, how are the bosses like? What are the boss fights like?
The boss fights, it's really not, there's just
Yeah.
the skeletons with a lot of HP.
Yeah.
You stick your cannons on them.
And there's some skeletons that are like nearly impossible to fight with during night, so you have to wait till morning to fight with them.
Mhm.
And there's some like made of metal, so you have to get them out of the water or throw water on them.
But then the combat feels so bad that like that's a big part of this game. And what bums me out the most is that I could ignore all that stuff.
The
And I really,
the sword part is no, the sword part. The sword part is really bad, but I really love like using the blunderbuss and the hand cannon
Yeah.
and stuff.
but then that's broken because you can only have 5 bullets, and if you're on an island with no kind of ammo storage, that's it. You can only use that kind of for a short duration.
Yeah, but you can have 10 if you have 2 guns.
So what really
Oh.
bums me out about this game, I would love to play it, and as much as I get that you guys want to play a co-op, and I would do a bit of that too, I would love to play this solo because I think there's a really
Same here.
something cool about being solo in a boat, and you were in an instance, so potentially a big huge boat with like 4 or 5 players on it could come along at any time and try to fuck you up, and I want to try and board that big boat and fuck with those people. There's no point in doing that because there's no, like, one, the combat is so clunky that it's difficult to really kind of get into it, and 2, it's not skill based at all, so if there's 2 people, they're just going to win and there's nothing you can do. And then there's an issue with the whole boat thing, like that boat should mean something and you've literally got a button to destroy it and it doesn't matter, and then you're back at an island. So there's no, like, the only kind of weight that death can have is that if you've done a lot of, and I don't know, you guys will know better than me, I've never lost it, if you've got like say 5 chests in your boat and you lose that boat, I'm assuming they're gone.
Yeah, unless you
they're
go
just floating around, and after a time they go away.
Yeah. So I think that's the loop that they've tried to build in, is that the longer that you're out there kind of doing these quests, the more loot you probably got on your boat, which makes that
And
boat.
also, the more treasure you have on board, the more there's like an RNG on the Kraken.
Yeah.
Oh,
we
really?
we had like 3 or
Yeah,
4
so
chests.
if you have a lot of treasure, there's a big chance the Kraken will come and try to.
That's really
So,
cool.
so that creates a pressure point which that game desperately needs, because
Yeah.
other than that, there's nothing.
No,
There's
but it's
nothing.
really like after you've done a raid, your heart is pounding because you get like around 15,000 gold worth
Just
of
wanna get back in cash
treasure, and you just really want to get back, and you don't want to go to an outpost where you can see that somebody.
Hey, can the 4 of us play this like right now?
We could do.
I'm down to play like one little session of this game because I need to play with people, because I played with randos at one point.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh well, they left me on this island.
Well, after this podcast, let's play an hour
It's
of Sea
good
of
as
Thieves.
long they use their microphone. It's
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
good, but most people don't. So
Should we do
that's
should we do a 4-man game after this podcast for an hour?
I'm down.
I'm down.
I might need to wait for like an hour or something. It depends what time we finish. I
So is
guess.
that
Yeah, I need to get some food as well.
Yeah, me too. Well, we could wait an hour and then do it.
Should we say 8 o'clock?
So that's what's
Sounds
8 o'clock Jeremy Corbyn time is 9 o'clock Merkel time. Yeah, got it.
Yes.
Puigdemont time, who's been arrested. Anyway,
I'm up to do that.
But it's like
I
apart from that, I think Mel and I we've spoken about it too. Do we just enjoy kind of chilling on it and listening to? I put song requests on, people come and chat in. I have viewers that come and play for a bit, and just looking around the sea, feeling it move around. Just getting drunk. Like at one point, I was just vomiting in buckets and throwing it at another streamer who I was streaming with, and like it comes up all green on the screen. Playing music when you're drunk as well is pretty fun. At one point, I was on a boat and just fell off because I couldn't control him because he was so drunk, and it's just silly little casual things like that which I'm enjoying. And if they do add a lot more content, I think it could do a No Man's Sky where people do come round, and now they've got like No Man's Sky has massive fans. Like,
I'm
people
excited
really
to see what this game looks like 2 years from now.
Yeah.
I think this game is going to be dope in 2 years.
They'll need to justify
I don't
people.
think it'll be a
I
thing
don't
in 2 years'
understand
time.
what content they can add if they don't fix like some.
It's the core, like the core of that
core
game feels.
gameplay.
So like we've touched on it already, and I think we're probably repeating the same kind of conversations that everybody's having around it. The sailing and the sea is fucking incredible. It's some of the best stuff I've seen in video games, and I absolutely love it. And having multiple people on a boat and the voice chat with each other, yeah, it's fucking astonishing. Everything outside of that, if that wasn't there, this is like a 2 out of 10 game. And I'm not, I'm not
but you
being
can't,
over that.
Yeah, but you really can't compare it with like another, like an RPG or I don't
I'm
know
not
what
looking
It's a niche
what is
game, I
this?
think.
What is this game? It's just like an open world
How would you
play
how
with
would you
friends thing.
how would you compare this to like to a No Man's Sky?
Pirate Simulator.
Like,
This is.
would you say like No Man's Sky when it came out was very similar to this?
I think there's I've since the beta I've been comparing
No
them.
Man's Sky had even less to do because it was just like
No, I don't think it did. I would say that No
You don't?
Man's Sky had a lot more content, yeah, because of the procedural element, which is what I think this game should have been. I think if this game didn't just have this set map, and the argument is, well, they got to create the islands they're really interested in. Well, if these are the most interesting fucking islands, the
Wait,
rare
those aren't procedurally generated islands.
these are curated. These are what they think make for really interesting fucking level design.
Wait, are you serious?
100%.
there is some amazing islands, dudes.
Yeah, I need to see
that
some
you
of
have
them
to check out.
because like
Yeah,
I mean I guess they
there
could just
really
keep adding
is.
more islands. That's
Yeah,
what they
some
could
got
do.
really
I've
interesting
been to the
inside
biggest one, and it
caves.
was
And
visually impressive, but again, there's nothing to do on there, and you haven't got the skill set to do
There's
anything.
there is an island where it's like a halo around it, and you have to like climb up some stairs and some stuff, and there's like you have to go in and out, and it's
All right,
just
your
looks
guys.
amazing.
we'll
The
go
only
there today.
problem with the island is that you can't interact with
Yeah.
anything. You can't
Yeah.
you can't like shoot at thread or anything, and something will just fall out.
Exactly.
You
That's
can't
what I don't like
interact
about it.
with
Like
anything.
I like the idea of being able to just like Elder Scrolls that you do like just pick up a bottle, just drop it. I would like to be able to just do that.
Yeah, it needs an
Hmm.
element of that,
It
definitely.
needs something like that, and like it
Modding.
doesn't.
Let's mod it. That'd be cool.
Yeah. All right. Hey, you know what? Your guys' mission today is to make me and Jordan love this game.
No,
Will do.
well,
think they love
I
it.
think it's just for it's for different people.
I think you guys are putting up with it right now.
It's a niche
but
game,
we'll see.
maybe.
No, I'm really enjoying playing
Yeah.
it. I'm just having a laugh all the time.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not serious. And like we lost
And
all our
that's it.
crates
And
when we were.
I don't want anything more of it. I just want to have fun.
Yeah,
Why
when we were
doesn't it
playing
go
with it,
more
we
for- like it could have been so much more.
No,
so-
but because sometimes the game isn't just about progression. Sometimes it's just
But
about
I'm
the
not talking-
journey.
I
and
get
you
what they
don't
do.
have
I get what they're
yeah.
doing in terms of keeping it simple and having like emergent progression. I'm all for that. It's very Breath of the Wild in that way. But you've got two different examples of how to do it. You've got Breath of the Wild and you've got this. And Breath of the Wild, they spent years making all this lovely content in it and thinking about the level design and how the systems will interact with each other. And this, they just had a really good water engine and put a boat on top of it and then fucking did shit all else in the game as far as I can tell. It could have been incredible, and I think the fact that they're charging full price and that kids' mothers are going to shops to buy this is pretty.
And it's not
pretty
full price.
horrendous.
It's the most expensive game I've seen in that's sold here. It's €70, which is like €60 seems to be the.
85 here in Norway. $85.
Jeez.
And I get that you guys. I think you guys are in the perfect spot to enjoy it because you habitually play games in this way with co-op and voice man and with other people watching.
And
Which all
also,
of
it's for me
all
it's
of that-
medicine because I play so much PUBG and
Yeah,
Fortnite
totally.
and these games that
Yeah.
is so I'm getting tired and then I just want to chill.
Totally. Like
And
I don't think
that's where the game is perfect.
I don't think the answer is necessarily to tack on, and I think we're moving away from it in games, to be honest. I don't think the answer is necessarily to tack on like a Destiny-esque progression to it and fucking, loot drops. And I've said on the show loads of times about how I'm just so bored of like color-coded loot drops and things like that. I think, we've got enough of those games.
It's
I'm not
fake
looking for that.
content that is. It's
Yeah.
just like playing on a slot machine. It's just blinking.
So in a way, at least they've kind of kept
lights.
it kept it innocent with that stuff. Like there's a pretty straightforward loop. You get gold, you can buy cosmetic items. That's cool. I kind of like that. But yeah, I don't personally think they can fix it. But if they want to fix it, they need to sort out
The core gameplay.
the melee combat.
Take some NPCs on
especially like
around.
especially
maybe.
player versus player stuff. Like have you had any good player versus player
Yeah.
combat?
Yeah,
Not-
some
not-
really fun, but I don't know.
But I'm
it's-
not necessarily boat to boat. But like if somebody gets on your boat or you meet somebody on an island,
Yeah, you can
like-
shoot yourself from your boat and onto their boat, and just
then what?
you can.
But, but then it just becomes R2, 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 R. I'm dead. But that actually doesn't matter because
No,
you go
but-
into that weird hell thing and then you're back.
You can swim on board with it, and you just have a gunpowder keg,
Mm,
and you just destroy their
that's sick
ship.
fish, yeah.
And
Yeah.
also, you can if they are attacking your boat, and they're forgetting to have their boat, you can just go and stare it into a rock. I don't
Yeah,
know.
like we were chasing a French dude before he was able to sell his chest. In the end, he finally sold it, but it was really intense. Like we were all firing cannons at him and jumping after him. But you can be bullies if you want. You can go after a 2-man or a 1-man crew, or you can go on some epic 4v4 battles and like just chasing people down, and then like a storm will happen, and it's just yeah.
I think they're all like I've said, the ship mechanics are great, and I've also the cannons feel really good as well. I'm always impressed by like I'll always shoot a cannonball on a trajectory which is going to shoot it the furthest away as I can, and it always stays in view, and you always see it kind of plop in the water, which I like. So yeah, that ship stuff is good. Nothing else is good, unfortunately. So I think this game will be dead in a month, but we will see.
Yeah, it might be. It might be. But well,
Which is
I'll
a
play it.
terrible state of affairs. But there you go.
I'm gonna keep playing it, but
Oh,
You got it.
all this being said, I realize how awesome Game Pass is. Like,
Mm.
if anything, this has been like a good like lesson. Like, hey, Game Pass is actually a pretty fucking great idea. I'm playing Brothers right now, which I was about to buy for $20, but like I got that shit for free. And next, just downloaded Tomb Raider. I'm gonna play Tomb Raider next. Like, it's a fucking great service. I can't wait to play Halo 5 with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
That's
Yeah.
yeah.
Ooh. All right. Any other games we've played? We go to the news.
Go on then.
Oh, but
I
thanks
played
by the way
Snipper
to
Clips again, which is dope.
Darwin. Thanks very much for the host. Have a good one, and the new followers. But go on, Jordan. News time. Oh wait, sorry. Ooh, wait. A second. We've got a question in the chat. If you buy the game full price, do you need Game Pass or Live to play? You don't need Game Pass, but I think if you play on Xbox, you might need Xbox Live. But you don't if you play it on PC.
Spot on. Yeah.
If you play on PC, you don't need Xbox Live.
Which
But
is another.
if you're going to play it on
question
PC, you get the 14-day Game Pass. You don't need the Xbox Live. You can just play the game for free for 14 days, which it might satisfy what you want in 14 days.
It
You don't need
definitely
to play it
will.
again.
I promise you.
Unless you enjoy having. Jordan, news.
Do I need to do the tune, or can I just start reading the news?
No, we need a tune. Those people
Andre,
won't
do you
know
want to do
that
the tune.
it's...
It's your tune.
News.
Da, da,
Da. Start spreading the news. Click, 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 play. News time.
Yeah.
First bit of news: EA is hiring for an open world Star Wars game. So if you guys thought that EA was going to lose the Star Wars license, doesn't sound like it. They're actually ramping up for a new game. Hopefully, they've learned a lot from Battlefront, which they've recently had to kind of change from a top-down progression perspective. And have you guys actually tried Battlefront since that change?
Oh, I'm kind of tempted.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, didn't you buy it, Ben? Weren't you the one who was complaining? I'm not gonna support EA.
Is this
ever
Origin
because-"
Game Pass or
Yeah,
something?
I played the Origin Access,
Oh,
which I didn't know I've been paying for like the last 2 years. My card expired, and I was like, "Hey, we haven't been able to renew your Origin Access." And I'm like, "Wait, what? I've been paying for this shit." Oh, yeah, that's getting cancelled.
You're the problem, man. You're the problem.
Yeah.
So I'll read you a bit of this this new game. This comes from Game Informer. A new job posting is connecting the dots on EA's plans in a galaxy far, far away. The job listing, which is posted on the company's internal jobs board, calls for a lead online, of course, engineer to lead a team to deliver online features for Star Wars open world project.
What about Star Wars: The Old Republic 2? I'd be up for that.
The listing says the role will help ensure designs will maintain high traffic services for multi-platform games, suggesting the title will come to multiple systems. So yeah, there's that. I think, it's no surprise EA is making Star Wars games, or just in general that there's more Star Wars games coming. I think the notable part of that to me was that clearly EA is not losing that license anytime soon.
Nobody. It was just it was a rumor of somebody who has like no say on whether they lose it or not.
Just wishful thinking, I think.
Yeah.
Like contractually, it just doesn't work like that, does it?
Whatever happened to Amy Hennig's game? That was
Cancelled.
canceled, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that an open world game?
No, that was going to be like
that
a
was a
side
linear.
game.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Yeah, would have been.
That 1313, I remember loving the look of that.
God,
Yeah,
man.
I think he was picking up the bones of that by the looks of it, but now it's bones itself.
Strata says Scott says so many Star Wars games seem to get brushed under the rug. Yeah, a lot of them like just got wiped and said, okay, this isn't canon anymore.
Yeah.
But these terrible games are.
You guys ever play that? I'm not sure. It wasn't 4-player, but like you were like stormtroopers who had it was like a group of like 4 stormtroopers. Like you were commandos or something. It was like commando something. Fuck, man.
Probably have that.
Isn't that the old
I think it was like
Battlefront?
Star Wars Commando, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think was it that. That game was fucking dope.
That was a game.
Republic
Yeah.
Commando.
That's what you were talking about.
I think it was Star Wars Command. I'm gonna look this up.
Yeah, no, it's
Like
Star
in a
Wars
GameCube era.
Republic
Yeah,
Commando.
I was on the original Xbox. That's what I played on.
I got it in a random, massive Star Wars bundle. Republic Commando. It's called.
That's what it is. That's a fucking
good.
great game. They should just make another one of those. That was like if Rainbow Six
Oh,
got the Star Wars license. If Ubisoft got the Star Wars license and they made a Rainbow Six Siege version.
that sounds cool.
Yeah, it was fucking dope.
What's that game where you play like the Sith Lord?
Knights of the Old Republic 2.
No. Yes, but no.
That was the old
Um,
Republic. That's which way you go.
Yeah, and the second one, yeah.
No, but
Um,
you have like you can't remember who you are or something, and then
Yeah, wait a minute. I've got every Star Wars game on Steam. Let me just type
me
in
too.
Star Wars and it's going to come up.
I really
There's
want to play
Rebel
that. I hear
Assault.
it's really fun.
Rogue.
guys
You're
ever
like
read
this old
Shall I read you every Star Wars game that I've got on Steam?
I got the same as
I've
me.
got
Please do.
Yeah, you probably got the same pack.
Yeah.
So Shadows of the Empire, Rebel Assault 1 and 2, Rogue Squadron 3D, Rebellion, X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, X-Wing Alliance, Galactic Battlegrounds, TIE Fighter Special Edition, X-Wing Special Edition, Star Wars: The Clone Wars, Force Unleashed. There you go. That's
Yeah,
what I think.
that's,
That's the one you're talking about, isn't it? And then about fucking 30 other games below it.
Oh wow, yeah, I think I've got about 15.
Wow.
They look. I'm never going to install any of those games. I think I got the Star Wars Lego Force Awakens, which was.
Ben, you're just a bad person.
Hey, Star
He is
Wars
a bad
Lego
person,
is a
yeah.
good game.
What Lego games are fun, aren't they?
Yeah. So
You don't like fun.
no,
No.
like serious.
I
things
need a
about
nuclear bomb to
breakup.
explode in the first 10 minutes of my game.
My
or
cartoon game. I want to see the
I
near
need
death.
a Holocaust. I need all my games to take place during the Holocaust. and
Oh,
be a
that. Speaking
fucking
of which,
Speaking of a Holocaust,
now I really want to play. I really want to play. I really want to play that. What's the one that was set in the siege of Sarajevo? That war of mine or this war of mine?
Oh, this War of Mine is
Yeah.
fucking great.
Yeah, I
I
need to
love that
play
game.
that.
I illegally downloaded that game and played many hours of it.
Didn't
Legally,
support the
yeah.
war effort. Nice one.
I did not.
Okay, next bit of news. Probably a game that I missed out on what I've been playing actually, because I've dabbled with this because I just felt like I had to just to be
Mhm.
relevant. So Fortnite has surpassed PlayerUnknown Battleground in monthly revenue, whatever that means. Like, is that?
I read that there's no.
in-game purchases. Is it?
I read that someone randomly took some stats and put them together and came up with that. There's no evidence because nobody knows.
I'm
how
sure
much
it
There's
they
a
has
lot
a-
of more players, so yeah, it's
Yeah,
should
it,
be
it
right.
makes sense. And plus Drake is playing it, which I reached out to Drake and he said he might come on the next podcast,
Yeah.
but we're not. Stay tuned, everybody. Stay tuned to see
Yeah.
if Drake comes and sings Hotline Bling for. He can sing our intros. You think we can get Drake to sing our interstitials?
Oh, you go and speak to. You're a New Yorker. You know everybody famous, don't you?
Yeah. Let me hit up Drake. Hey, yo, Drake. Yeah.
Maybe when that click play. Boop, boop, boop. Gotta
Oh,
list what
God.
Jordan say.
New interstitials coming soon, I swear.
Man
Okay,
spreading.
Epic Games Fortnite is making boatloads of money on in-app purchases, taking 126 million in the month of February and surpassing the monthly revenue pool of competitor PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds for the first time, according to game analytics firm Super Data Research. Ben, they sound really legit. What are you talking about? They're called Super Data. News should come as no surprise to
yeah.
those who've been following the meteoric trajectory of Fortnite as its popular battle royale style game mode. Which puts up to 100 players, blah, 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 blah. We know the rest. So yeah, I've been playing it over the last week. Seems good. Seems all right. Really colourful, too happy for me, as you probably guess. It seemed pretty decent. But it just seems like that game has got fucking such a groundswell beneath it right now in terms of mainstream opinion. Like I got loads of random people on my PlayStation friends list because it's kind of got integration with Facebook, which I deleted this week, by the way. I'm now not a Facebook.
Same
person.
here.
Yeah.
Woo!
I was so
Look at
tempted.
And it's nothing to do with morals. I'm just sick. I just think it's a really poor interface. It was getting on my nerves, so I took this opportunity to take the high road.
I walked into the living room about 3 hours ago, and Dave had Fortnite up on the screen. He didn't actually go into it and click it because he had to create an account. But like the fact
Trying
that
to
he
work
was
it out.
thinking, "Oh, that's a game I've heard of." Let me
Yeah.
and has never played a video game ever in his life. So that
Well,
was.
I think that's where the
something.
general public is, right? It's got to that level, especially now it's on mobile as well, which is fucking crazy. Like, it's just got to that level where you just got random. So I've just got like there's just random people on Facebook who typically they never seem to play anything other than FIFA, like the latest FIFA, or now and again they might play like a Call of Duty or something like that. They're all playing Fortnite, so somehow it's managed to get into the mass consciousness. And I think it was on the Game of the Year shows. I said this was going to happen, and you all said I was wrong.
No, I was with you. Me and you were arguing that Fortnite was better than PUBG, and Ben was
Okay.
like, but guys,
Here we
I
go.
have a lot of fun on the thing. And now look, when was the last time Ben played PUBG?
There's big skeletons.
When's Fortnite
Yeah.
coming out?
So when was the last time you played Fortnite, Ben?
Like a week ago.
When was the last time you played PUBG?
Yesterday.
Oh, he's done you. He's
I
done you.
did. No, I didn't. I didn't really. I haven't played PUBG in like 2 weeks. I played Fortnite yesterday.
Yeah.
I just wanted a quick solo game
I
before
will
work.
notice that I have stopped playing Fortnite. I just play PUBG.
I stopped playing Fortnite too. I'm not a huge fan of Fortnite. Again, like I think PUBG is more simplistic, and I like that. I think it's not simple. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still like a complex game, but like I don't like the aspect of building. I used to, but now I'm like I kind of just like killing things.
It freaks me
like-
out. Like when I'm running about that map, and then I go 1-to-1 with somebody, and straight away they start doing this magic shit of like wrapping
Yeah.
fucking spears around their head and stuff. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm just like shooting at them with a shotgun from too far away, and then they kill me. Fuck is going on?
Thing is with Fortnite, I get bored really quickly because it's very samey. Because it's quite a small map and it's all the same. Whereas in PUBG, every time you land, you can land at a different place 1,000 times, and like your experience is going to be totally different. Whereas I feel Fortnite just feels a bit repetitive. That said, I really hope they get rid of that second map in Fortnite in PUBG and just let us choose that first one because that's the only one I like.
Like I've played Fortnite a little bit over the last week or two, and I'm already done with it. Like I don't want to play any more of that. If they put a really fucking nice port of PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds on my Xbox One X, which was only console players, and you could actually use a controller properly with it, and it played at a nice like frame rate and whatever, I would play that for fucking hours. But it doesn't seem like that's my grumble with PlayerUnknown, is that it's like I've said before, they're successful despite themselves, and they can't seem to kind of get on their feet now that somebody else has kind of run away with what they were doing, which is a shame. But there we go.
They got comfortable. The people who make PUBG got comfortable. Like, we're number one. We can never be taken off this throne. Let's just work at a slow pace and then
They
fucking
fell into that position as well. Like they
Their main problem now is that they're all they were forced to just focus on cheaters,
yeah.
and so they didn't have any resources to actually fix the game. So
Yeah.
it will get better, but it's gonna take a long while, and maybe it will die during that time. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like if this was a line graph, I think the two have just kind of. I think Fortnite is starting to they've just met, and Fortnite is starting to pull away. And I think now that that's happening, I think it's too late, way too late.
You get Drake. Oh, what's his name? Drake. Playing Fortnite. Who would you have playing PUBG?
50 cents.
Malum?
50 Cent. Ja Rule. Is it Ja Rule or Ja Rule?
New chain.
Is he the one that pisses? Oh no, that's R. Kelly. He's the one that likes piss.
I found out R. Kelly wrote a song the other day.
Yeah, he did. I believe.
Yeah, no,
Has he wrote any songs?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's obviously written his own. No, he wrote
Pause it
he
one.
wrote Heal the World, maybe Michael Jackson's song. He's writing fucking Michael Jackson's songs. Who knew that? Not me.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
next bit of news.
Nobody's
Yes,
writing him
also
anymore.
closed in the closet.
Yeah,
That's the great
Both touch kids as well.
rap-
as I'm
rap
but-
opera, isn't it? Rap opera.
it's the rapping Oprah.
Oh yeah, closet.
Oh, I think this is the rapper version of Oprah. I was like, wait, what? Trying to link them two together. I'm not sure how.
Yeah. So next bit of news, God of War's gone gold.
Ready.
So I don't know if you heard of God of War, but
What does that mean?
Ready.
That means the game is done, Malum. The game is ready to be played. So it's out in less than a month, 20th of April, I believe. And there's just been a big kind of preview cycle. They had lots of people in to kind of play the game. And the response has been very, very positive. So it's tracking that this will be another kind of really quality and extremely successful PlayStation exclusive, which I think everything that we just said about Sea of Thieves, I think this emphasizes it, because this is right now, until State of Decay comes out, the comparison is going to need to be like, what's the latest Microsoft first party exclusive? It's going to be Sea of Thieves, which isn't reviewing well. I think we've all agreed it's going to be dead in a month.
Versus God of War.
And then God of War's just going to come out and fucking wreck the place.
What's coming out later? It says Red Dead Redemption 2 coming out in October, along with some other massive games. What's Xbox coming out after State of Decay? Forza Horizon 3, 4.
What's Red Dead got to do with it?
No, I was thinking of like all the major sales, the console exclusives. There's just nothing on the horizon now for Xbox now. Sea of Thieves has gone.
Yeah, it is
Well,
what
it's
it
a
is.
State of
State of
Decay,
Decay.
but is Red Dead PlayStation only?
Yeah.
No.
Oh no.
That would be fucking no. Why would
Oh,
no?
I don't know why I thought it was. No, of course not.
When
No, it's
when
not
has
both.
Rockstar ever done something? Once the Xbox
Yeah, of course
came
not.
out, they fucking just did everything like that.
Ah, it's just not PC,
GTA
isn't
3,
it?
thank
Yeah, I
you.
don't know why I thought.
Fucking 15 years ago.
It's because I always forget. And I always associate Red Dead and Rockstar with Naughty Dog because they both release really well polished games.
Yeah.
So, any of you guys looking forward to God of War? I am.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I just
Looks
hope they
really
don't
good.
kill Kratos, but I feel like they will.
Yeah, I kind of feel like they will as well. Maybe the son
Yeah.
becomes the new. They're going to kill one of them. It's that video game rule,
Yeah.
isn't it? You got to kill one of them.
Yes. Kill the mother.
I
Who
mean,
is
it's
the
already
mother?
happened.
Do we know who the mother is at this point? Is that
I think we saw her in
Oh.
the first
Do you
trailer.
see the gameplay of how violent it is? Like how brutal the
Yeah.
fighting is in God
But
of
I
War?
love
That's awesome.
nor it's gonna be more. I hate saying it. It's gonna be more like gameplay like Dark Souls, not like the hack and
Yeah,
slash
totally.
which so that's gonna be really cool.
a lot?
Nice.
A lot of the people coming out of the previews are really high on the combat. Very kind of a lot of like one-on-one, or there's not you're not fighting like 10 people at a time. You're fighting maybe like 3 at most. The camera's very close to Kratos. You've got a lot of control over him. I'm really looking forward to it.
Nice.
Good.
All right.
Last bit of news. I think because you guys were too fucking inept to do a show without me last week, you probably missed this one. So I've brought it forward
I saw
to
it.
this week. Pardon?
I saw this news.
Yeah, you didn't
Yeah,
announce it to
yeah.
the world via our podcast.
No, because it's not really interesting.
Forgot to
Sonic
do that.
Mania Plus has been announced, which includes new
Ugh.
characters. He's got 2 new characters on.
Oh yeah, great! I get to see fucking 2 new characters.
So this comes from comicbook.com. Well, they're not new characters, the classic characters. Don't worry about that. So publisher Sega has announced Sonic Mania Plus, a physical release of Sonic Mania that boasts new features coming to PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox One. Why not PC? Sonic Mania Plus will release sometime this summer. And will cost $29. That's for you, Andre. Pre-orders will open on March 19th.
This have lost its quality now.
Yeah, this is the big hit. This is the last segment. It was reported that it was going to be free, but apparently not. You're going to need to pay for it, Andre. Okay, because I know you own the base game, so you're going to need to pay for this this
Great.
expansion.
2 characters.
Fucking
got-
great.
2 new playable characters in the form of Mighty the Armadillo, who
Oh
you'll all
my
remember,
Of course.
and Ray the Flying Squirrel, who might actually be a new character. I don't know who Ray is. I know
Ray,
Mighty,
Ray
I
the
don't know
fucking
Ray.
squirrel, do you say?
Ray the Flying Squirrel.
Oh, flying squirrel.
As well as an
Flying-
all-new encore mode and an expanded 4-player competition mode. There you go. Ben and Mellum, you can play that on your Twitch thing.
Ooh. Well,
Yeah.
if the original game was the 10th best game of last year, then this Plus
Oh my
version must be
God.
much higher.
Content aside, it will also feature a Sonic Mania art book and packaging
Oh.
featuring a holographic slip cover of the Sega Genesis or Mega Drive themed sleeve. And spoilers for the packaging, it looks amazing. Yes, so
It sucks
thought
that Sega is so bad at making Sonic games that like they're writing this one out as much as they can now. Yeah, forget about the other one we just
Bosses,
released that
was it?
nobody like they
they
can't.
should have called it Game of the Year mode or Game
Yeah.
of the Year edition.
Honestly, they should have. That would have been a smart idea. Make people forget about this fucking bullshit.
It was all right. That's it. All right. Question time, Jordan.
Questions! You got a fucking question you want to ask me? Then come say it to my fucking face. You fucking bastards, yeah.
It's a South Park now.
Love it. We have one question. If anybody has any more questions, send them to us. We have one question, and it's an interesting one, I think. Should transgender people be allowed to compete in esports?
Oh my god. Whoa, come on. Jesus Christ.
Do you play with your penis or do you play with your hands?
What kind of stupid ass question is that?
Why wouldn't they be?
Yeah, that's what I was
Of course
thinking.
I would.
Do they have male and female esports leagues? Because that's ridiculous if they do.
No, they don't have to fucking separate that.
No.
Oh
Okay,
my god.
so yes.
It's amazing.
It's a fucking great question. Hey, what's our game of the month for
Have to
last year?
grab their
shit.
crouch. No, you can't play this. No,
Thanks for reminding us, Andre. We need to do our game of the month for February.
it was me.
Yeah, he
Oh,
Melon
obviously,
brought
Melon.
it up.
Sorry. Thank you for reminding me, Melon. I've totally forgotten. We're gonna. I think next week. Yeah, next week we're gonna be doing the April one, or the March one. So February. John, you've got the list, haven't you?
Open up the February release.
The person who asked about the transgender question wants to ring into the show, so I think we should let them do it.
Oh no, we definitely.
No,
should
we
not.
don't. We do not. We will never be taking random calls. That's a recipe for disaster.
I just want to understand the thing, like in other sexes. So are we? Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
It's amazing.
Not sure what it's got to do with sex, but
The
yeah.
answer's
Okay.
no, but anyway. So game of the month. I think we.
Okay, let's see. These are the games that came out last month.
should have
Sky
Shadow of the
for-
Colossus.
Sky. Oh yeah, I guess that would be it. Should we just give it
what?
to that?
Do what?
Well, I think
Okay.
me and
Life
Ben were
is
talking
Strange
about it, and didn't we
episode.
get a little short list? What were the? It was Shadow of the
Yeah.
Colossus.
Let me see.
Yeah,
20.
that's one.
Yeah,
Bayonetta 2 on the Switch, but nobody played that.
I played it for about an hour and thought,
Hate it. Oh, Metal Gear Survive. Forgot about that. February 20th.
UFC
So-
3,
Metal Gear Survive?
Civ 6 expansion.
Isn't
Rust.
that game dead yet?
No.
Rust came
And-
out
When did Monster Hunter come out? Did Monster Hunter?
January.
January.
That was our
January.
second place. What was our winner for
yeah.
January?
So I said potentially
Celeste.
Florence if you guys wanted to float Florence because as much as
Oh, Kingdom
obviously-
Come Deliverance.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
real fucking good.
Kingdom Come Deliverance.
How's what's his face getting on with that? By the way, he talked a lot of fucking smack about that game to me. Is he enjoying it?
Who's that?
My brother. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Zach.
Yeah.
No, not your brother, Zach.
I think Zach
Is he
likes it.
finding it?
No,
Yeah.
he
What
has
game?
he has buyer's remorse. That's all it is. Anyone who like anytime I hear I have a friend who's like,
Well,
"Oh, this is actually really good."
He hadn't played it, but he was telling me how wrong I was, even though I
Yeah.
played it. He hadn't played it.
That's always
H1Z1 came out and then went free to play immediately because it's such a good
Oh,
game.
fuck that.
I hear Moss.
that's
If anybody's got PSVR, Moss apparently is a really, really good PSVR game.
Yeah, I
that
hear
does
that.
look good.
I don't have it.
All right, so
So
Shadow of the Colossus.
Celeste.
Fair? What's fair?
Yes. I
You just
guess
give it to
is.
Shadow of the Colossus. I mean, yeah, okay. What's that? Florence is a good game, but it's not. To me, it's not really
As
a
much as
game.
I'm a fanboy, I would rather not have our game of the month go to a remake, but it was a slow month and it was a fucking really good remake. So
This
really
month's
good.
going to be
It's a
interesting.
statement that it gives to remake, so
Mm-hmm.
that's cool.
So, with January game of the month was Celeste, whereas this one is Shadow of the Colossus remastered. Yeah. All right.
Can I
Well,
just remind everybody to go and download Bloodborne because it's free at the moment on PS Plus. We just make sure as many
Yeah.
people as possible
and can you download
go and
Ratchet
download that game.
and Clank as well? Because that's one of the best platformers on a PS4 right now.
Knack is way better.
Knack.
So some like South American fucking trolls were trolling me on Twitter yesterday, and
Is it Manny?
It's me, man.
and they were talking shit at me. Like I own a fucking Xbox and I own a PlayStation, but they were so basically the way that this came out, Digital Foundry, yeah. So the
Yeah, good site.
fucking love Digital Foundry. So they do these technical breakdowns of games and do
Oh my God,
comparisons between
just-
multi-platform games and stuff like that.
Their
And,
Switch one on their Switch WWE 2K18 is hilarious at how bad it is. Just watch that. It's such a funny video.
Like watch that. So like they were this group of like South Americans were like trolling the guy from Digital Foundry who does all the videos and stuff, saying that he was biased and like saying that he uses different technical terms for PlayStation games versus Xbox games, which is definitely not the case. They're the most like down the line people. I don't understand half of what they say, but they're definitely not trying to fucking sway one way or the other. And ironically, he's a massive proponent of Sea of Thieves, like at least from a technical perspective. He's really big in that game up. Apparently it's the best usage of like HDR he's ever seen in a game and all this stuff. So it's silly that they were pouncing on it. But I just kind of stepped in and said, ignore them, they're fucking idiots, whatever else. And then they started on top of me. And like I went on their profiles, and like all of their profiles was like pictures of them kissing the Xbox fucking symbol, and like or like playing some kind of like Halo 5 league. Like who the fuck cares about Halo 5 at this point? And I called them out on that, and they told me to fuck off and go play Knack.
That's a good call.
Brilliant.
I didn't want to like keep on clogging up the Digital Foundry guys' timeline, but I really wanted to get into that argument because I think of any argument,
Yeah.
you've got a lot of ammunition if we're going to do like an exclusives argument between PS4 and Xbox One. But I told them to at me, and they didn't at me. Cowards.
Oh,
If they're listening, at me.
to puta madre. I got into a Twitter argument. Well, not a Twitter argument.
Called
I
me
just
racist too, because I said they had broken English. They called me racist, and they called me a tea drinker.
Oh yeah,
I saw that. Yeah.
I hate
No,
tea.
I got into an argument on Twitter because somebody tried to defend bump stocks on weapons, and they said, I need bump stocks on weapons, and I said, why? And then me saying why got 474 likes, and then and then like shitloads of replies, well over 100 replies. Yeah, just saying why. And then I got then there were loads of people, lots of bots as well, replying to me. It's interesting.
I'm gonna tweet why more often.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting that the potential change that we're seeing in the US right now around gun laws based on kind of a groundswell movement has been more effective than people in Europe and the UK tweeting snarky things at Americans about guns. It's really, really surprising that.
Yeah. It's always interesting to let them know
If it's
that
not our business,
they're all
it's America's
idiots.
problem to solve.
Yeah. It's fun to
Hey,
comment
man,
on it
fuck you,
though.
man.
Then I was having to go myself if anything.
Yeah. I know I like to. Twitter's there to make uninformed comments about stuff that's not
Yes,
really
correct.
to do with you.
Fuck off and go play Knack.
Yeah. And on that note, I think it's a goodbye. It's a good time to end it. We didn't do 2 hours, an hour and a half. I think that's plenty. Don't want to bore people.
More than enough.
More than enough, exactly. And I'm hungry.
Right, we can play Sea of Thieves.
So should we play Sea of Thieves in like an hour and a half?
I'm gonna order some food, so I'll be ready.
Me too. I want to get a Burger
Well, I
King.
will say it's pretty cool that like YouTube. Are YouTube playing on PC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. People that YouTube playing on PC, we're playing on Xbox, and it's just fucking seamless. I like that.
Like I say, I
That's
like the
something.
controls.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like I'm playing on PC with a controller, and I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
But all right, so an hour and a half, Strato. We'll be chilling. We'll send a host over. If you stick around in the chat, we'll send someone cool a host. And yeah, thanks, guys. Follow us at @ClickClickPlay on Twitter, /BiggusBennus on YouTube if you want to listen to any old shows. We're on iTunes. We're clickclickplay.com. Andre on Twitter
I'm
is.
gonna make movies on everything other than my Facebook because I no longer have that shit.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Just don't log
You're
on
good.
to it, or don't go on anything that has it. You won't be able to use Instagram now, though, Andre. Surely,
I do use Instagram a lot.
Tired.
but that's Facebook, isn't it?
You know what's crazy? You can't play PUBG unless you have a Facebook. You can't play PUBG on mobile.
Or
I mean,
Tinder.
You can.
You won't be able to
But,
use
like, you have
Tinder,
to-
Andre.
I know it's the worst. I had to. You can use Tinder, but you have to put in your phone number and stuff. And I was like, ugh,
Oh God.
this doesn't feel right.
No, delete Facebook because of encroaching personal freedoms. But I'll put my phone number in on this.
Yeah, on
Dodgy
this
sex app.
fucks app. This fuck strangers app. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Jordan, how do we find you?
On that
Well,
fuck strangers app.
you can come and find me on Twitter unless you're from some fucking hellhole like Paraguay or something like that. So you can do that.
Oh, Jesus. The
Jesus,
views
watch my
of Jordan do not
podcast.
reflect the reviews of Play or anybody else. Oh. Mellum, how do we find you, Mellum Mannen?
I am mellommann overalt. Everywhere.
Oh, there you are. There's a shout out in the chat. Okay, so we'll be back in an hour and a half for a Play Sea of Thieves, and then after that, I think Mellum and I might be playing either A Way Out or The Division on PC, because The Division on PC is 70% off. And it's
I'm gonna test the division.
it's awesome. Great
I
game.
hate that game.
I was playing it. I was playing it until like 4 a.m. last night with a professional baseball player. There you go.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Okay,
I
bye.
like- Was Drake
Bye.
on there? Did you play with Drake?
It's pretty much Drake, but
Bye.
baseball version. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. I can't find it. Where is the end?
Oh my god.
do we have an end?
Do you still have the end? Please tell me you have the end.
Oh, we have the end. Here we go. Yeah. Bye.
Bye, bye, bye.
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 Bye. Bye.
Bye.